Hey YouTube, in this video I'm going to be doing a deck profile on my surprise Nighmare doll deck. So, like as I alluded to in one of my previous deck profile videos for Pale Moon, I did say that I did not have Nighmare doll Alice, yet I did build a Nighmare doll deck that focuses on the new Stride unit from the Fires collection. So this is what I came up with. So I do not have Nighmare doll Alice because I think she's old. She's came out back when I was not into Vanguard. So I didn't get the cards when it was cheap, when it was affordable. I ended up getting Luquier. Luquier came out a little bit later, I think. Set 7, I think, or yeah, 7. So I got that one. Silverthorn was like the main Pale Moon deck that I had for like forever. When set 12 came out, I was actually able to build proper Silverthorn deck. But Nighmare doll Chelsea came out in set 12 as well. So she was meant to. She actually worked really well with the Break Ride. Miracle Pop Eva. If you remember the anime, Asuka actually used Chelsea with Eva in one of the matches. I believe it was against Korin or Misaki. I think it was Korin. Yeah, it was Korin. She beats the Jewel Knights with it. So yeah, Nighmare doll Chelsea. She is the Nighmare doll budget line. Nighmare doll grade 3. She's Persona Blast, similar to Raging Form Dragon or Dote. Basically, at the end of the battle that she attacked, Vanguard, you can counterblast 2, discard one of her, and call 2 Pale Moon from the soul. Yeah. So, she calls 2 from the soul. So it's pretty good, gives you a 4th attack. But you can't pass triggers to them, which is kind of lame. So, yeah. The backup is Nighmare doll Carol. She came out a little bit later. She came out toward the end, where Chelsea came out like in the midst of Break Ride format. She came out toward the end of Break Ride format, Carol. She came out with Venus Luquier. She came out with Reverse Luquier. So, yeah. Carol is just a good backup. Mainly, we're playing her because she's a Nighmare doll, so that we have 100% capability of going into Beatrix. You don't run Catherine in here, obviously, because you do not have Nighmare doll Alice in here. So this is kind of like the B team of the Nighmare dolls. So for grade 2s, I'm running 4 Nighmare doll Master Brenda. She's not a Workeroid, which is kind of a letdown. But if she was a Workeroid, she would be super, super good. So essentially what she does is you can put her in the soul during the main phase to call a Workeroid from the soul, and the Workeroid gets the effect of calling Brenda back out when it goes into the soul. But then when Brenda comes out of the soul, Brenda loses the effect to do that effect again, which is, I don't know. I can see why they did that, so you can't infinite loop with Purple Trapezes on the main phase with this thing, but I don't know. There's some combo with Brenda and Alice and Catherine and something else. Leslie, not Leslie. I forgot what it was. I know it's like another Nighmare doll card, but yeah. 4 of her, because she essentially helps you ensure that this card is a 12k. So 4 Jumping Jill. Jumping Jill is a Workeroid from the first extra booster. So that's why we're running her. She's a 12k. Basically, when she comes out of the soul, she's 12k. So obviously, we're just going to play this. It's a pretty good Workeroid for budget line. And then another really good Workeroid for budget line is Lillian. So Lillian is a Silverthorn 10k vanilla, but it's a Workeroid. The only other option I would suggest running is Nitro Juggler. But Nitro Juggler, as you'll see, is not needed because of a certain grade 1 that I'm running. So that's the grade 2s. So 7 Workeroids as grade 2, and then all my Vanguards are also Workeroid. So you got plenty of targets for Brenda. And then 4 random Perfect Guards, doesn't matter what Perfect Guard. I'm just running my Hades Hypnotist. Then 4 Nighmare doll Juliet. Juliet is the promo that came out with the Bushiroad magazine that has the Cardfight online codes to redeem free packs for the online. So Juliet is a Workeroid, grade 1, GB1 restricted effect of when she boosts, Soul Charge 1, and it's a mandatory boost. It's a mandatory Soul Charge. So that's why we don't need Nitro Juggler, because she'll continuously, every time you boost with her, she'll be blind soul charging after you stride the first time. So yeah, mainly we play her because she's a Workeroid and Nightmare Doll. 2 Jumping Glen, she combos with Purple Trapezes, and she's a good target for the Nightmare Doll Chelsea, or potentially even the Carol effect to come out of the soul and be a 10k. But unfortunately she's not a Workeroid, so you cannot combo her with Beatrix, for example. You cannot pull Jumping Jill and Glenn and Jumping Glenn out as a column on this turn, which is really disappointing. I really wish they had a Workeroid that had this type of effect. 2 Luna Break Enabler, because I'm not running the Stride Enabler. If you can run Stride Enabler if you want, that's probably better. But this is really good to help rush down people. I guess, like, if you go in first and you ride grade 3 first, this thing is really good with Carol, for instance. So, and then 2 Purple Trapezes, just because it helps you make Glenn a 10k. And it gives you additional ways to make Jumping Jill a 12k and things like that. So, and this helps fix rearguard lanes, for example. Like if you need a Workeroid, you can throw a Glenn into the soul and pull out Juliet or something, or even a Limit Break Enabler if it was your first ride or something like that. So for the trigger lineup, went with 4 Silverthorn Marionette Natasha. So just like Lillian, the only reason why this is in here is because it's a Workeroid. It's a draw trigger Workeroid. Next we have 4 Nightmare Doll Mirabelle. This is the critical trigger that came out set 5. It's a Nightmare Doll and it's a Workeroid. So Workeroid, we're running this. 4 Poison Juggler, it's just really good. Flame of Victory clone, self-explanatory. And then 4 Heal Trigger. So I am running the typical 4-8-4. I'm not running the stand trigger. I don't really like it in here still. And the starter I went with is Dreaming Bicorn. It's very similar to Tiffany in Jewel Knight. It helps power up your field really good. One big push after you strode. Really good with Lunatic Dragon plays and stuff like that, surprisingly. So yeah, you can use it with Beatrix as well. But usually you won't do that, actually. So the only way you can do that with him is if you attack rearguard lane first, and Beatrix last. And then, yeah, I don't know. His effect, I guess, can be queued up, but, yeah, I'm just trying him for now. Mainly, he works really good with Lunatic Dragon. That's what I found. So, may change him back to the trial deck starter or some other starter. But I feel like Bicorn does have some potential. For the Stride deck, 2 Beatrix, because you only will really stride her like no more than 2 times. I mean, playtesting the deck 2 is a good number. And then 1 Dragon Master Amanda. She's just a really good first stride fallback in the event that you don't have enough Workeroids in the soul, or you don't have enough Workeroids on the field. So we run 1 of her. 1 Clifford for the same reason. Clifford is actually more useful later in the game, because if the soul is already established well, then Clifford's more useful then. And then 2 Lunatic Dragons, so we have a Lunatic play. Lunatic Dragon is just pretty solid in here. And then 1 Madhu, which is pretty self-explanatory because all the Vanguards, all the grade 3s are 10k. Madhu is a no-brainer. You can stride for free. And then Blizza, because Blizza is just really good in the late game. So pretty good diverse stride deck from playtesting the deck. So let me know what you guys think of this budget line Nightmare Doll deck. I think like the only card that's hard to get in here is Purple Trapezes, which the deck might need a 3rd copy in here. But anyway, that was my Nightmare Doll deck. And let me know what you guys think of the really budget line deck that revives Nightmare Dolls that probably nobody would ever think of playing in this format. But it's a fun, casual Palmoon deck. You can test out and learn some new plays, learn how to play Pale Moon actually. So yeah guys, that was my deck profile. Hope you enjoyed the deck, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.